Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ECAC Esports Women's and Non-Binary All-Star Showcase. I'm Ash, and on the desk with me is Epitomes. We were here last weekend to see four teams duke it out, and we are back now for the grand finals between John Jay College and the University of Southern Florida. How are you doing, Tala?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. Last week we weren't able to see the grand finals, but this week we have it scheduled, and it's going to be the only best of three series in the entirety of this showcase. And it's also going to be the first time that we see these teams duke it out on stream. We know that they met once before. It was a pretty close match between the two of them last weekend. So let's see if things have changed for this weekend.
And the other thing is the difference is it's the only best of three, right? So we had best of ones for all other series. So now this is kind of an opportunity where you don't only have the one map to go off of to secure your win, that being the Grand Champs title here, but to give you guys an idea of the maps that we do have in store for today. The first one we're going to be seeing is going to be over on Haven before we take it over towards Bind. And if we do go to the Decider, that will be Breeze. How are you feeling about those map picks?
I definitely feel like Haven was a pretty good map for USF. Both times that we saw them play it on stream, they were on those two matchups against Pace in the latest one in the lower bracket finals. So I definitely think that USF do have a good chance on Haven. At the same time, if they do go to Bind on that second map, I'm guessing John Jay are going to have one hell of a matchup, especially since they've just been breezing through Bind many times, and it's pretty much a toss up between the two of them. Definitely, since John Jay being that upper seed, I feel like they do have a little bit of an advantage there.
John Jay has definitely been the team to beat, considering that they were undefeated throughout the tournament. But we are going to be going into Haven quite shortly. We're not quite ready for it yet, though. But when it comes down to team compositions, are there any particular agents or maybe pairs of agents that you want to look out for going into this next map?
At Fade and Rays, Fade was released that sees allowing no one to escape from any of the utility that Rays can dump, especially in those A lobby garage areas on Haven. On Bind, since it's such a small map, there are so many places where you can use that combo. But I definitely think we're seeing a little less of Chamber, because last weekend we didn't see a lot of Chamber. I think these teams just aren't as comfortable running Chamber in their team comp because he demands so much fragging power and support. So being able to rely on just more traditional Sentinel utility is a lot better for these teams.
Definitely possibilities. And I mean, if we don't see like the Fade Rays combination coming out here, I think, on the other side of that, you have the opportunity of having that Breach Neon combo for teams, having that stun available, allowing your Neon to get up close and personal using that high gear. So, a lot of different avenues and different payoffs, if you will, with these options for team compositions, right? With the Fade Rays, you're looking to do maximal damage in AoE fashion. Meanwhile, when it comes down to the breach, I almost said chamber. It's more so those timings that you're looking to take advantage of and catch the other team off guard.
Yeah, Neon's ability to completely throw off the timings of anything. Like, if you know how long it takes for someone to run from A main to C long, but Neon can so slightly speed that up, out rotate anyone, and just like throw off the timings for the entire team. But those are all obviously very intricate aspects of playing maps, especially big maps like Haven. And I think that Raze can kind of do the same thing that Neon can, and might be a little bit more of a comfort pick just because of the fact that she has a little bit more utility and can clear corners with the paint shells, the satchels, as well as the boom buddy. While Neon, you really have to go and manually clear with the relay bolts. And Neon, I feel like her only comfort is that fast lane to be able to block off some angles so she can run on through, but at the same time, you need to be able to take those fights once you're coming out of those double walls.
And between the two duelists too, it is, a pretty big difference as far as the kind of explosiveness that you have onto site, right? Sure, Raze creates space, satcheling on. Meanwhile, with Neon, it's a little bit more. Raze is like loud and out there, and Neon kind of can be too, but you can also get a little bit more cheeky as far as your positioning goes. But before we get into the agents a little bit too much, we are facing a little bit of a technical difficulty on one of the sides of these teams. So we are going to be throwing to a quick break. We ask you guys to bear with us in patience, and we will be back as soon as possible.
Actually, what pisses me off a little bit is the fact that they're still running Phoenix. Optic is still running Phoenix on Haven and winning. Like, it makes me angry.
Phoenix
Irrationally.
goes hard on Haven, no cap. My five
No.
stack runs Phoenix on Haven.
Uh, oh my god, Ash. And you run it with the stinger too, don't you? Huh?
I don't
Huh?
run it. I'm not the one who
Oh.
plays the Phoenix. Zek is the one who plays the Phoenix if we play Haven.
Oh. Uh,
Shit goes kind of crazy stupid though. No cap. It's only because like his ulti is so much better now, and his flashes are probably the hardest flashes to dodge at the moment in the game. But the rest of his util is cheeks.
yeah. I think his ulti is very. I feel like they gave like Phoenix's entire power budget to his ulti.
Yeah. The thing that they really need to
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just still like a little bit. How do I explain this? A little bit clunky, but it's also like I feel like when it comes to the duelists right now, it's Phoenix and Reyna are kind of like two sides of the same coin, but you kind of have like very different pros and cons. Like Phoenix is better for like zoning and stuff like that because he has this wall. Both his wall and his molly do damage, and is technically also a self-sufficient fragger because he has the heal with his util. Meanwhile, with Reyna, it's like you still get the heal, you have the leer, but you also have a get out of jail free card that you don't get with Phoenix.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for waiting, and it wasn't too long of a wait. Thankfully, both teams seem to be just about ready. So, if you did miss out on the pre-show before we get into the game, the best of three today is going to be Haven, Bind, and Breeze in that order. So Breeze being that deciding map at the end, and it's John Jay College versus University of Southern Florida here in the grand finals. And I'm Ash. On the desk with me is Epitome is also known as Tala, and we're really looking forward to bringing you this best of three action.
Yeah, and now heading on to that first map, it is going to be Haven. We are talking teams comps we want to see, maybe that Fade and Raise, maybe the Breach and the Neon. I mean, Breach being brought out a little bit more frequently on Haven. Now people still really like the comfort picks that can gather info, though. Definitely the Sova, definitely the KO as well. I think Breach really just you need to be able to take those fights, have the good timings, or else he basically has no value because it is so hard to set up for as Breach because being able to flash really far away is probably one of the strongest points of Breach's util.
And I think that's a really good point to bring up, considering the fact that, with the breach, you do have to kind of just make sure that you're coordinated. And, this is more of a for fun event, so it can be a little bit more difficult for teams to have this setup. But we will see if Breach does end up being a comfort pick for anybody here on out. Obviously, those info gathering agents tend to be favored. And actually, no Breach so far. We've got three different initiators on the board at the moment, though. That's going to be the Fade, KO, and Sky. Two being on the same team, the other being on the opposite. And you mentioned that we haven't seen too much Chamber. We weren't sure if we're going to see Chamber just based on comfort picks, but May's going to be hovering that one. Meanwhile, Eden will be over on that Killjoy.
I believe that May, the last time that she played. And Sage is nice being able to completely deny this best of your advantage, right? But at the same time, when you have Sage the only Sentinel that doesn't also gather information. So in that way, she is kind of pushed out of a traditional Sentinel role. So I'm interested to see if May is going to instead pick into this chamber. But on the other side, the Killjoy obviously is going to be pretty strong at solo holding a site and just dedicating more people towards a different one, as well as in those post plans. And I think her flank watch is obviously very effective with both the turret and the alarm bot.
That is for sure, but at the same time, it's a bit of a give and take. It's like KJ, lots of really nice stalling power, Chamber, opportunity for first early contact, but also, when it comes down to it, sure, Chamber only has the one trip now ever since the nerf, but Killjoy, despite having two pieces of utility that can actually watch that for you, she's also limited in having to stay nearby it, right? Meanwhile, Chamber could be anywhere on the map, have that trademark still up. So it's the give and take between, investing a body to kind of anchor more towards one side. Meanwhile, you can call like quicker rotations over, plus the rendezvous. If you want to set it up that way, you could have quick TPs over to the other side of the map as well. But I digress as we do get into this pistol round, as these two teams are setting up for the first round on the board. USF on the defense, John College on the attack. We're going to actually see that, okay, you've got the Raze and Fade playing together, so we can expect to see those combos through. And if John Jay College looks for some early aggression into A lobby, they might be met with a lot of damage here.
Yeah, that's very true. The Raise Fade combo, they're detected as well by the KO knife, so it's a really quick rotation coming around already. And it seems like they still want to fight for the site, though. I mean, the Spike's still hanging out around a lobby, and actually they're re-clearing the flank instead. But Dark Cover have gone out onto the site. There's that trademark in mid to stop the flank in from the B side, B link. But at the same time, this just seems like a very, very convincing fake for John Jay so far.
Ooh, tapping this orb there. I was about to say the spike, just to get a little bit of information. A really quick rotation already being called over by USF. All for naught, because the rotate will actually be pulled through towards Garage. Completely controlled now by John Jay. May just narrowly missing, able to hear the steps through, but not seeing anyone quite yet. Able to get the drop down on one. Will overinvest a little bit onto the angle, do a bit of chip damage, but not able to do much more than equalize.
4v4, they've got the overgrowth on Sky, so that's a nice part of taking those short engagements, being able to get the health back to full, and now as they're going to use... Oh, there's a good flank here from Chef Anix. They see the blinded KO, are able to find a lot of utility going out onto the site, and it's trades back and forth. They have the paranoia, but they've defused the spike. None of them could see that paranoia actually blinded the teammate. So USF, they find the first round despite losing all the players.
Whew, that was an interesting round, definitely to kick things off. We're going to see the buy-up now coming out from USF. And considering the fact that John Jay College, they managed to get the frags down, they also got that spike planted. So a buy-up from a couple of their players as well, but it looks like the IGL is reining everybody in, electing to go for a full save instead.
They definitely shouldn't be trying to force, especially since it is Haven. They're on the attacking side. Just get their money up and just reel it back in for their gun round instead of trying to break themselves against the force buy and surrender any more rounds on their attacking half. Now, again, quick rotation. Dark covers go out very quickly as well to just stall out the pushes. Spike still hanging around a lobby, and they're making sure there's not a flank coming in, just dedicating that killjoy to watching, making sure there's not a swing out from the garage.
I think maybe slight contact being made there from double doors. You actually see
Careful here.
Eden falling back a little bit, regrouping with the team now towards A. A very quiet push this time around coming up from John Jay College, so no quick rotations being drawn here from USF quite yet. Dark cover in the hands of Chef. They will be ready to throw that down when needed. But a nice boom bot from Teddy's going to grab that information. Paint shells as well to isolate one of the players. Able to get one, a second, but not the third, as Hail to Polo is able to equalize here with free Spectres back sight for John Jay College.
Both raises finding a lot of value off that first contact. Spike now down, and John Jay not in an advantageous position as May and Nico are just in on a rampage onto the site. The dark cover is out. No peek just yet from Panda. Nico goes, peeks it. Panda gets taken down, and USF with a bonus, but they do lose 3 of the players in the process.
Really nice eco round regardless coming out from John Jay College, especially being able to initiate that spike in both rounds, right? Adds a little bit of that cushion, allows them to buy up to that full shields in this upcoming round. No ultimates on the board quite yet here, but Hello Panda's also just 2 away from the Nightfall, so could be interesting to see John Jay College maybe trying to fight for that A-long orb, get that into the hands of their Fade so that they're just 1 away from that ultimate. But regardless, playing a bit more defaulty this time around, passive towards the A site. Very standard holds here also on the side of USF.
Andre and USF both kind of at a standstill. Ooh, 4 detected from Jinxed 0 point though. So they know exactly where these players are, save for just 1. Looks like they're still looking towards that A site. They seem to really favor in the early round, trying to take space towards a lobby, towards short and long, and haven't made any noise just yet, so the dark covers have not been expended by USF. Hilda Polo slowly clearing out the angles. Site, maybe if she can find that 2K early again, then she can really crack open this site. Oh, the Haunt doesn't find anyone either.
Just whisper quiet here, and with the timing and the lack of sound over towards the left side of the map, a dark cover to come out to cover towards long. A little bit risky. I mean, it does allow also 1 member of the side of John Jay College to cross over to the left. But Teddy, always poised and ready with the paint shells, holding on to it as long as possible, trying to do some damage. But Chef, too quick onto the site with the gun advantage and to take down 2.
Oh, John Jay, always so down on the time until right the very end and then go for the spike plant. But it works out this time, especially since they have such a huge gun advantage. And now USF, they are only leaving it up to Neko. The paranoia does blind 1, but otherwise Venus still holding the angle, and nicely done from the Fade as well to throw down a seize, throw off the aim, and Venus is able to close it out. And now with the guns across the board, it's a flawless from USF. So they basically keep everything. They have their shields, they have the guns, and they also have for Chef that from the shadows for that quick repositioning. But at the same time, you were talking about how Hello Panda was close to the Nightfall, and not even a single point up from it this so far. Teddy is 2 away from that showstopper.
Yeah, really surprising to actually see no investment going into that quite yet, but it's still early on in this half. Another default to come through here for John Jay College. First blood into the hands of Hail Apollo as well, so a nice opener to poke a hole into the defense here, especially on Haven, where you have about 4 really important choke points to keep an eye of. And they're all kind of placed horizontally where you can't really play off of each other aside from the A site. So spreading the defense far apart. Teddy, no util to work with. Caught up in the reload here by Hale DePolo, who's able to secure that 3K for herself.
Ooh.
And this TP up towards Heaven is going to earn Chef their pickup on the Omen. And this close angle doesn't look like it's about to be punished. Yeah, the 4K to close things out. Unfortunately, Venus does get caught up in that crossfire. And 2-2 here as John Jay tie things up.
Now, John Jay seemed to be on a roll. They put USF back onto the save eco buy with only the upgraded pistols, some half shields. They have Neko as well, who has the From the Shadows. But unfortunately, John Jay, they have 3 ultimates available to counter that one. And Hale DePolo has been really good at finding these entries. At the beginning, they seemed very hesitant about getting onto these sites, but now that they do have some momentum behind them, it seems that they look a lot more confident trying to aggress onto the sites. Definitely at least 2 spotted out by the 0 point, but it hasn't really drawn any defenders away just yet. They're just using that dark cover to make sure short is an angle that they don't have to worry about for at least a little bit. But Spike, it's a default, and they're just looking towards Seaside now.
Just the wait and lurk here from Venus. Didn't hear anyone aggressing up towards C. And already rotations being pulled over towards the A site, where you have 3 members stacked on the side of USF at the moment. Neko alone here would be able to reposition using the Shrouded Step or From the Shadows, but now actually going for a more aggressive angle than they anticipated for. Will be taken down, punished for it after throwing out the dark cover.
Yeah, Venus with the guiding light, it find a lot of info into that last round. May, though, at least with the Sheriff, is able to find one, but they have complete control of the site. They spot one in garage as well. Venus is trying to take the fight. Popolo is going to try and back him up, while Eden just holds it down and defenders spawn. And the showstopper to find one more green now down. It's just all left up to Teddy, but even with the overgrowth, Eden does get taken off the board. Panda is going to avenge, and John Jay, they pull ahead by 1.
Nothing too surprising, though, considering it was their buy round. But again, rifles will be put back into the hands of USF, and on this rifling round, they have 4 ultimates that they can work with here. It'd be nice to see either some sort of combination to come through. It could be interesting to see the Nightfall come in on a retake, Teddy following up, following those trails along with the Showstopper to ensure at least a little bit of damage, if not a kill off. But we'll see how everything pans out as the Tool de Force does get popped here in the hands of May.
May holding a very aggressive angle, unscopes, but still is able to hit the shot with the Tour de Force. Already finding that little bit of value by taking the entry fragger out of the game for this round. They have to now rely a little bit more on Venus to be able to get those starting frags and entries with the guiding lights, as well as that Seekers for the information, since they don't really have the fragging power or the space making ability of their rays anymore. Green also spotted one out in mid with the Prowler, so they have a little bit of info. They definitely heard the alarm bot being placed as well, so that should be an indication that this is mostly just a flank watch for them.
Ooh. 0 point is going to find Eden lurking in mid, though, and actually Chef with the walk up through short, able to get that pick down, using the paranoia to catch someone else towards CT, but it's a little bit deep, not able to capitalize off of it. It's still re-aggressing, but Teddy's waiting, holding the angle. Suddenly, what was once a 3v3 situation, looking towards the advantage here for USF on this retake.
2v2, but they have the Nightfall, and that just finds so much information. Venus tries to take an aggressive peek, but Teddy just hits the adjustment so well. Now it's all left up to 1. Huddled up in short, decayed, marked, and just being thrown at. So much util. And Eden not able to do anything. John Jay and USF have found themselves on an equal 3-3.
That's a tough situation for Eden as well, right? She did get tagged up by that nightfall, which meant that not only was she marked by the trails, but also did not have any audio cue. So I actually couldn't really hear if they were on the bomb or not, or if they're just clearing sight.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of had to gamble it. But with all of the utility pushing her back regardless, it was an impossible round to win on that side. Now we're looking at an equalized 3-3, but so many ults were expended there by USF. John Jay College having a bit of advantage as far as ult economy goes going into this next round. Karen pulling out the PC utility. I was afraid that she might get caught out. Haunt will see one, but doesn't know that one's actually really close to double doors at the moment. Dark cover is going to allow her to reposition towards the window side now, though, as Hailed Apollo is hiding just by double doors, taking some time. Nice Trailblazer to come in and clear the close. And oh, the flick up towards window. That was nice.
Definitely nicely done from Harold Apollo, and Chef is going to neutralize Neko on the site so the paranoia doesn't get capitalized off of. And now they're able to plant that spike down on C. It's the lockdown as well to delay a little further. I feel like this might be an over investment since they already are in a 5v3 situation, and they're just going to put the lockdown in to delay a little bit more. And now the spike ticking down for a few seconds means less time for USF to work with. They haven't anchored in Garage, but the alarm bot is going to force the flick down from May, and Chef finds two off the back. And now Teddy all left up to her in a 1v5. Seems like an impossible situation. The C is delaying even further. Has the two blast packs, has the paint shells as well, but being spammed every which way, and the paranoia to cap it all off. Teddy going to escape with her life, but not much more. John Jay is able to find another round.
At least able to carry the rifle into the next round. I'm just going to take a quick look at the economy. So most members actually still having the potential to buy up towards rifles. Jinxed Rose going to elect to keep the Sheriff in hand instead. But the hero rifle does end up being quite helpful here on the side of USF, considering the rest of the team. Meanwhile, here for John Jay College, still two ultimates to work with. You've got Chef, who has their From the Shadows available, hasn't had the need to use it yet. But at the same time, I mean, it's nice to kind of keep that in hand if you end up being in a clutch situation where you lose the spike into the hands of the enemies, because you can pick that up and then cancel.
John Jay and USF. Once again, it's back to the A site take. Hailed Apollo forced someone out of the corner with the paint, flushed out the positions, and they're really just giving it up. They're instead just going to opt for a full retake rather than fighting for the positions on site. And the Nightfall has gone out, but it wasn't find much value simply because they backed off the site. May first to run in though, but there's no support. I'm not even sure if there was a flash from the KO and there's support. The 0 point is able to know that there is someone in Graffiti, and the paranoia is going to try and capitalize off of that a little bit more. But now Venus in a really good position by Graffiti. No one to support. Hailed Apollo swinging out from hell in order to find one more, and it's just John Jay once again to find another. And I think even if they were able to get that defuse or even tap the spike, there were still the nano swarms to back that up. So overall, good post plant situation from John Jay. Very solid trades as well.
Definitely agree with you there. I think what was difficult was we actually saw a lot of nice utility coming out from USF. You know, the paranoia, I think, connected with 2 to 3 members of the side of John Jay College. However, the push in from the actual players was just a little bit slow to follow up, so actually capitalize off of that. And I think John Jay College, stealing this momentum away, you can see that University of Florida, the way that they played that retake, they're playing it a little bit more nervous than we had seen in the earlier rounds. And just got to keep the mental high, keep the vibes going. As I say that, really nice stall here on the A site with that null command and paranoia to push John Jay College back up towards A lobby.
Like a quick rotation has been called by John Jay. They know that there are at least those 3 players. They've made them expend the null command as well, so they've already wasted the ultimate, and it's an ultimate that very much forces disengage. But when they're not already on the site and you're not going for the retake, the null command loses a lot of value. But May going to find infinite value here, knowing where the spike is down inside the garage doors. The C's doesn't go far enough, but Panda, nice shot there, just swinging right on through. And Chef up to their antics once again, in a very, very close position, but just has to make sure to clear the right angle. Doesn't expect someone to still be there. Net goes red into it, and now with only 30 seconds left, Hailed Apollo just lurking on in through that B site, able to take down Jinx Rose, and now it's a collapse onto Neko.
No.
Just
What is
the
this
timing.
No, with the Prowler too!
Oh my gosh, the Prowler knows where Neko is, so I think Hailed Apollo safe for now. This is a really nice position for Hailed Apollo to be in, but just needs to make sure that they don't get caught out by Neko on the site. But otherwise, Hailed Apollo is going to be really good at stopping these rotations. It doesn't look like they have any idea that there's someone up there. No, Karen knows. And it's all left up to Hello Panda. Needs to find the second shot, but can't do it. Now 3-5. John Jay able to take it, not able to take it up to 6 just yet. USF are going to keep them off that tied half.
Ooh, slowly closing the gap between both of these teams. Still able to get a bye through here for both sides, but University of Southern Florida, because they're kind of trading, you know, one round every couple of rounds up against John Jay College at the moment, their economy is in a tight situation. Meanwhile, John Jay looking a lot more comfortable with their money situation, so they have a little bit more wiggle room to play with, despite the fact that the scoreline is really close, being 4-5. The Eco on the side of USF is definitely struggling at the moment, and as we continue on, there's about 3 more rounds, I believe, including this one in this half before you do swap sides. So you kind of have to monitor that. You don't want to be on your last round on a really wonky buy-up.
I agree with you there. And now this is kind of one of the first times that John Jay have decided they want to just completely commit to the C site very early. But now with the quick rotations, that might change, since the C's has not been able to find any value, and it seems the paint shells are only able to get a bit of chip damage, while Apollo just makes their way through into garage and is able to find the first, and now has such a good position. The showstopper has such an advantage in a gunfight as well, and now with a satchel peek and just securing a 4th, it's the ace on the board, but just overheats a little bit too much, and Karen is able to shut down Hailed Apollo, but it's still around for John Jay.
Ooh, nice follow-up there from Eden to ensure that the clean kill was secured in the end, and a 2-round lead here for John Jay College, forcing USF onto an eco round here. So we're going to see Teddy's actually going for a hero rifle play. I'm actually not mad about it, though, because Teddy is only 1 away from the showstopper. So even just getting that 1 kill down could be a huge difference maker in the round. But as I say that and get my analysis through, she'll actually be swapping back just to a sheriff in her hand. So pistol only. And John Jay College playing very quietly outside of a lobby. Some presence shown, but USF aren't quite sure how many players are actually being invested into this push.
Now, this is just really hard because they really like to use these smokes early. And now the dark cover, it's such a good position for Chef, and is only able to find 1. Teddy now with the showstopper after that sheriff kill, and Hailed Apollo with the boom buddy is going to be able to find 1. Spike's still not down, but after neutralizing the Heaven player, it should be an easy task. I say that, but it's a collat from May.
Guiding light to go through towards CT. Prowler, so info given that there is one leaning towards short graffiti. Hello Panda will be there for the frag, but unfortunately on the side of USF, it was their eco round, right? And John Jay College cleaning things up in a clean sweep, taking them 7-4. And The last buy rounds here to come through, USF amassed just enough to carry into this round with the rifles. 3 ultimates on board for them as well.
And now, with John Jay having 2 ultimates, the Nightfall as well as the Seekers, both those initiators having very powerful info gathering ultimates, their site take should be made a lot easier. What they need to worry about, though, is the counter Nightfall as well as the From the Shadows in order to be able to get a very nice retake off an A. Historically, I think the hardest site to retake on Haven, having only that Heaven drop down as well as the entrance from Defender spawn if you are not flanking to be able to get into the site, so they really need to try to hold it well. And you can see that they're pulling so many of the defenders towards that A site, and they're using some util to try and sell this fake, but look at Chef's position. They're just all the way up onto C.
What I like about this lurk from Chef with the spike as well, like, yes, okay, you know, drawing info over, you actually saw the From the Shadows being used on the side of USF by Neko, and not seeing anything. Chef, they waited it out, they heard the cancel, now spike initiated over towards the C site. This gives very advantageous position over towards John Jay College, especially with this flank round here from Eden is dead. Able to get one more. Here's at least 2 others coming in from CT, but Karen, hot on her tail, is going to shut that down.
Jinx is only at 3 HP though, and it's a 3v3 retake, but there's the Nightfall to try and stop them from getting inside. It's the Prowlers as well, just to stall for a little bit longer. Panda had no issues with just pushing through that smoke. Chef, unfortunately, has nowhere to run from the 0 point, but can just spray down C long, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel for John Jay. 8-4 in the half.
Oh, we're swapping sides now. John Jay College on the defense, USF on the attack. And Haven is a very attacking-sided map for most teams, right? A lot of teams struggle to figure out the balance of the ebb and flow on the defender's side because you are so spread far apart. So it can be easy for some teams to get picked off. And I think that was part of what USF struggled with a little bit. They had really early rotations, bit too much of early investment in those pulls, but then also would easily get isolated on sites. So we'll see how John Jay College fares on the defender side here to see if they shake things up a little.
The advantage that John Jay has, though, is they have that on-site defender, right? They have the Killjoy with just infinite stall potential, but it doesn't seem like that she's going to be met with any. We do see 2 players from USF creeping towards that C site, but otherwise for John Jay, it seems like most of their attention is focused towards A. They need to be careful, but Venus is going to be the first to fall. Karen with the first blood, and there is actually the turret going down because of the 0 point. This is the easiest way to neutralize a Killjoy playing on the site. Chef is going to come for backup though. Teddy does fall, and Chef, trying to find more still, is able to get the second and equalize the numbers to 3-3.
Spike down towards the left side deep of front site, but the reflank to come in from Karen has so much impact. Now regaining site control here on C, but as I say that, they don't even need to get that spike planted, able to get that last pickup and securing the pistol round in the hands of USF. The thing is, we did see pistol and round number 2 secured from USF on the first half here, but then the second John Jay College had rifles in their hands, they felt a little bit unstoppable in a way. You know, the frags were really just coming through. It did come down a lot to gunfights as well.
USF, this is the second pistol round that they've been able to secure. They're going to be able to get themselves up to 6 and just close that gap a little more. Ooh, that is a huge haunt from John Jay though, and they're getting really aggressive here on the eco. The guiding light is able to find the first. May is still sitting, but unfortunately they're not able to secure the kill with the pistols, but the Boom Buddy is able to find that one onto May. They're also now picking up some Spectres, spotted 1 inch short on the side of Hello Panda, but now suppressed by the 0 point. Oh, it just peeks a little too far to try and throw the flash, and Hello Panda able to take that one down. John Jay, they have the player advantage, but they're so low. Teddy, so little HP onto the last player, Hailed Apollo, and Teddy finding that spray down onto 2. Now they're able to pick up the spike, and I think Teddy just has to rotate around towards that A site. Quietly walking, 7 HP, and team and a Spectre. Teddy
Spike planted.
Spike now planted.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough retake here. You'd almost think impossible. And as Hail the Polo does peek through window, Karen, watching the angle, will be able to secure that kill. So really nice round 2 here from USF to get that under their belt, slowly close this gap to only a round differential of 2. However, on the side of John Jay College, despite losing out that last round, Grin Eco did a lot of damage over towards USF because they did manage to carry over 2 Spectres into this next round, but did have to invest into Sheriffs and half shields across the board.
Oh, the Spectre, only one with full shields is Teddy, so the health is a little low on USF. They need to be very careful, especially walking towards Eden is dead sight, considering the mollies on Killjoy do so much damage, and they just need to really rely on the KO. But Chef and Eden, they're just going to find that too. Speaking of the KO, KO has been neutralized. And now Neko walking straight through, getting pinged by the Haunt. And it's all left up to 2-1. Karen is able to find the first, picks up the Vandal, spots one, going to run behind the boxes and backside. Karen is actually able to find the second there. So now a 3v1 situation, half health on Karen.
These are all... Sorry, yeah, the Hunt is available, but they originally were also playing some easily one and done 1v1 angles, able to get the drop down on Hello Panda. This is a 5v1 potential ace for Karen to succeed in this round, but Hail Apollo doing the ring around the Rosie will get the drop off behind her, despite spotted out by that piece of utility, taking John Jay College over 9-6.
And now John Jay, they're 1 off from that 10-point lead, the double digits. USF now in their gun round, they have Karen with the Nightfall available. So it's going to be some fast takes that I'm going to expect to see from USF since they have so much utility. The Prowlers in combination with the Nightfall is going to be really easy to clear off the sites and force John Jay to disengage with them, otherwise lose their life for it. And now Karen is going to use the Haunt to see if they can find that first initiation, find a little bit of information, but May just pops everything on the site. Killjoy, no value here. That Nanoswarm does actually force them to plant in a little bit of a more awkward spot, and Chef is in a really nice position to be able to hide from the Boom Buddy and also take down Neko, and now that enables the drop down from the garage window as well. The Nightfall is avoided by the 2 garage players, but not by the ones in CT. Karen is in a good position, and Eden's not even able to win the first fight, but still an advantage for John Jay College, and it is going downhill for USF fast, especially with that swing out from Chef, now all left up to May, and can't find even that first frag. Now 6-9, make that 6-10. John Jay seemed to be intent on taking it home.
It was a really nice retake to come out from John Jay College as well. Going for a complete crunch through CT, Garage, and Long just causes a lot of chaos for the players on the opposing team. You kind of have to be really careful with the angles that you're choosing so you don't get caught off guard by someone who might be pushing in on your flank. But this is going to force USF into an eco round, and I'm wondering, Tala, what do you think that USF could adjust here, maybe on their next buy for some success here on the attacking side?
I think that they are kind of committing to these sites very early without knowing a lot of information about where John Jay is. Meanwhile, John Jay is able to get a lot of value out of this info, like the guiding lights, And Hail the Polo now going to also go for the early engagements, and that's another piece of wasted utility since they do find the info, yes, but they're not able to capitalize off it and take down Hail to Polo, and they can't find the picks. And I feel like playing for picks should probably be the name of the game, because if they can't secure those trades, if it's trades on trades on trades, 5v5, whoever gets first blood tends to be the one to win it out.
Oh my god!
Venus, that timing, the timing is so bad. And May peeks around, finds the Vandal, and Venus now losing their life. Not a tradable position either.
Ooh, two hiding back site over towards the A site. Chef and Hailed Apollo holding the fort down here. Chef with the third pickup, but Netgo has another sheriff shot to answer. Now turning it into a 1v2 situation, not expecting the flank to come through though here from Hello Panda, securing 11-6 here for John Jay College.
Hello Panda with the silent flank, and it seems like I'm not really sure why May is the first person onto the site. And that's what we saw in the last round. May just running through a smoke, just straight on through, without a care in the world, and going down early. And without May to be watching those flanks, they are easily going to get pinched like they just were by Hello Panda on the flank. And I mean, it also is something to be said by the fact that John Jay have two players with over 20 kills right now, so their shot is definitely on.
Oof. Speaking of shots, a couple will be fired towards short. A really risky nade there for Hail the Polo. Lucky to get out unscathed. And a really nice paranoia to hit towards the backside of A. And oh, the showstoppers to come through. Eden, though, getting the frags regardless, will be sent down, securing that last pickup. But a really clean defensive round to earn a John Jay College their match point.
It's getting pinched once again. That trademark was still active on the flank, considering May was that time the last player standing. So it wasn't really a fact of them not being able to watch the flank, because they do have that trap there. But I think I'm not sure what sneaky antics Chef was pulling. I believe it was just from the shadows to get into a really good position and sneak past the trademark. But now John Jay are on match point, and US should be an easier half for them, but their coordination is a little bit lacking on these executes, and Neko still gets caught out by the guiding light. Apollo just wraps around, and now it is a pick for John Jay and a player advantage as well.
Yeah, it's safe to get isolated in that kind of situation. We did hear that the alarm bot does get deactivated. We'll come back online as Eden does peek through Barrage, but shut down nonetheless. Taking a little bit too risky of an angle. Teddy, knowing that someone is really close up in a lobby, Venus overextending a little bit, will be taken down by the showstopper. Teddy, with so much utility with zoning and damage potential, clears out the B pocket, but another nade to answer thrown towards window is going to slow down this momentum. And USF, they've made their way towards the C site. John Jay College, they actually ran all the way towards A, expecting the plant to be there, and this null command definitely feels a little bit early coming out from Jinxtros.
The spike had just been planted. There's no indication that John Jay was going to start their retake, but Karen is in a really nice position, and the Haunt as well. Not spotting anything means that there's likely not one still lurking around. Chef is making sure there's no one trying to flank through Garage, and the flash has been thrown by Jinx Rose. The C's has gone out, and the paranoia has been hit. Hail the Polo finds two, and John Jay, they go for the defuse. I'm not sure if there's time, though. It's possible USF might live to see another round, but no, 3 seconds left over for John Jay to find that defuse, as well as setting the pace onto the first map of Haven.
Ooh, closing it out in that fashion. A really clean retake there from John Jay College. But again, this is a best of 3 series, right? So we do have at least one, maybe a third map to go if USF is able to claim map number 2. So on the other side of this break, we will see you guys over on Bind.